Hello everyone, welcome back to my show. Here's Socks, and he's getting all greedy today. He's just had his lunch, like we have, and he's been shouting because he knows I've put some dreamies out over there. You're not greedy, are you? Anyway, I've been painting. Whoops, it's what I've been doing, as well as reading. I'm still reading Erebus, which people may laugh, but I love it. It's so gory and so tasteless, as I said yesterday. It's unbelievably tasteless, but it is just enough like all the old Doctor Who stories of the 70s that I loved. The ones where the Doctor and companions go and investigate a spooky factory where bad things are going down. My paintings, can I set this down here? And I can show you some abstracts. Next week, we've got a show in Levenshulme in Overdraft Pub. My friend Siobhan has organised it, Siobhan Daniels, the artist. And we've done abstracts for autumn. And there's about 5 of us taking part. We've got some pictures in the pub already. It's called Overdraft on Stockport Road. And we're going to have originals for sale. And I've been finishing my paintings of the secret lake in Levenshulme. I began them a few weeks ago, sitting by the edge of the lake with loads of acrylic paints and these very lightweight canvases. And I'm going to go that way. And I've just been finishing them. You should have seen the looks I was getting sitting by this lake in this kind of surprisingly bucolic surroundings in the middle of Levenshulme. It is a miraculous place, and people go there to fish and to walk and to enjoy a bit of countryside. And I think they were expecting something more realistic when they saw somebody painting. And I was doing these, which to me are all about the atmosphere of the place. And it's a place under threat. It's really peaceful, and it's got ducks and moorhens and swans. And of course, you know, it's been there for decades, centuries even. It's old industrial land. And have I shown you this one? Oops. And it's grown over and got these 2 lakes on it with wildlife and people fishing. But it's not fancy. It's not like some, you know, these other places in Manchester that get preserved, or other places. No one's looking after it. And of course, they're going to build a housing estate on or around it. And so various people are leaping into action to protect it. And of course, Jeremy's involved and trying to get the council to do something, but Manchester Council isn't very interested, I don't think. And the councillors, in my experience, are extremely lazy and stupid and not very interested in anything to do with the actual people here. They just like being in power, quite like this one. See, to me, it all looks like undergrowth. It looks like sitting in the undergrowth and looking out at water. It was very funny, though, to hear people being surprised and a bit sarcastic. But I really enjoy painting. And it's nice to get away from the fiddly work of being very precise when you're drawing things that are supposed to look like something. Come on, Socks. You haven't had these dreamies yet. What else do I need to tell you? I've been thinking about my spooky books and how what I've been enjoying, I think I said this, is that very kind of homegrown British horror. I was thinking of reading all kinds of American spooky mysteries and going back to Stephen King, and there you are, and all sorts. But actually, the homegrown stuff is proving to be exactly what I want. What I'd love to read, and I can't find it anywhere, is James Herbert's 3rd Rats book, Domain. The one where the nuclear bomb goes off at the beginning. I bet you can't hear me, because, oh, don't show your bottom to the camera, Mrs. Worthington. That famous Noel Coward song. Yeah, I can't find Domain anywhere, but I have read a James Herbert this month, so maybe that's enough. Guy and Smith I'd like to go on to, and Simon Clarke and his book about aggressive vegetables, Night of the Triffids. But we'll see. I'm also looking ahead to my Christmas pile and thinking about when I should start reading Christmas books. I have this idea, though, as well, that I want to do some time devoted to rereading. And it might be a good thing for the new year, because I find January, February really quite depressing months. They're the worst months of the year. And that must be true, and that's true of a lot of people, isn't it? They find them quite oppressively cold and gloomy and not Christmas, in other words. And I thought it might be an interesting project to look at my books of my shelves of favourite stuff and think, if not now, when? When do I reread these things that I read 30 years ago? And maybe devote some time to it. Maybe I'm being a bit hardline by saying I'll have a whole month of this and a whole month of that. That's a bit YouTubey, isn't it, in a way, booktube. But it kind of works for me in a way. I like these mini projects, and I love the idea of a bit of cozy rereading of things, so long as they don't let me down and turn out to be not as good as I imagined. Another project might be to find the books that you got a little way into and gave up on. And to find out if they were any good after all. Because some of those things I do keep around, thinking one day I'll get back to them. So these are future projects. Once I've got past my yen for schlocky horror and spooky things, which we are enjoying a lot, aren't we? Yes? He's in a funny mood. The changing weather puts Socks in a funny mood. What else? I'm waiting for the post today because I've got things arriving. I've started I've actually started Christmas shopping. And part of that, actually not the Christmas shopping bit, it's a present to myself, is Rob Shearman's new Doctor Who book, Chimes of Midnight, adapted from his audio drama of 24 years ago or something. Penguin have started, I don't know if they'll go on, but they're doing Big Finish novelizations because they've run out of TV shows apparently to adapt. I've not bought a Doctor Who book for quite some time. One thing I was listening to yesterday while I was cooking was the audiobook of my book with Steve, 1001 Nights in Time and Space. It's in 4 different voices, 4 different actors, doing such a splendid job. Dan Starkey, Maureen O'Brien, Sue Twist, and Louise Jameson. And they take turns telling these tales around the campfire, doing lots of different voices. And it's so much more political and spooky and fantastic than even I remembered. A lot more political than I remembered, actually. But that's the nature of it, isn't it? You write fairy tales, and whatever you're thinking about comes out and makes the stories connect. If you are in the right zone to make all that happen. That's all my news, really. That's everything I've been up to, I think. Yep. Trying not to get addicted to watching Big Brother again, but I am. We had a whole evening of it yesterday, which is ridiculous. 25 years of this ridiculous TV show. Okay, I'm going to go. I think we're going to nip out this afternoon. And Jeremy's getting flu and COVID vaccines and all sorts, which I'm not allowed to because I'm not old enough and I don't have underlying issues. So I don't get any of those jabs. But hopefully the jabs I've had in the past will stand me in good stead. Yes, and we'll look at some charity shops and bookshops as well. I'm not looking to buy anything. I'm aware of how much I have still to read at home. If, however, I saw some vintage schlocky paperback horror from, say, the 70s or 80s, I might have to get those. But those things are kind of vanishingly not there. Vanishingly not there. They are not in evidence in charity shops anymore. Either the people organising these things chuck them all out, or they get them on eBay, and where they fetch a lot of money. I still think about that car boot sale where there was boxes and I resisted. Resistance is useless in more than one way, I think. More ways than one. Right, I shall go, and I will check in again quite soon. Take care. Bye-bye.